Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to this week in Renewables, your bite-sized roundup of the renewable stories over the last 7 days. Hydro, wind, solar, anything renewables I discuss. I am your host, Mr. Deji Ogunsola, the voice you can trust. Don't forget to like, comment and share, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on podcasts via Spotify, Anchor, Apple and other streaming platforms. It really does help with the visibility of the weekly podcast, so every like, comment and share is greatly appreciated. This week I'm going to start off with a bit of hydropower news. A few of those in my hydropower connection on LinkedIn have said to me that I seem to have forgotten about hydropower and very much focused on hydrogen, solar and wind. So I thought it would only be fair this week to kind of give you some hydropower news to start off with, because I've definitely not forgotten about those who work in the hydropower sector. This time I'm going to start off discussing a location I haven't really discussed much in the past, and to be fair, I haven't really done many projects in myself, and that is Papua New Guinea, PNG for short. And FFI, Fortescue Future Industries, who I've discussed before, they are to build a new hydropower and geothermal projects in Papua New Guinea. They are to undertake feasibility studies for 7 new hydro projects to be specific, with the project's electricity expected to be used to produce green hydrogen and green ammonia. Not much has been disclosed about this project so far, but from the information I've been able to find online, I did find some comments that were presented by Julie Shuttleworth, who is the Chief Executive Officer for FFI. She said, our green energy vision for PNG will lead to more jobs, a stronger community, a stronger economy and thriving communities, and importantly, lower emissions for Papua New Guinea. We 100% share Prime Minister Mahathir's vision that PNG can be at the forefront of developing hydropower and geothermal resources for the emerging global green hydrogen industry. We are looking forward to continuing our work alongside the government of Papua New Guinea to develop these important opportunities. As I said, I haven't talked about PNG in the past too much, but this is really fantastic news coming from the specific region of the world, and more news from the FFI, who continue to creep up on the renewable space. Staying in that part of the world, actually not in that part of the world, but staying on the theme of locations I haven't discussed previously, and this time Hawaii. And Blackfinch have been named owner's engineer for a pump storage project. They were selected by AES Clean Energy, AES for short, as I said, for this owner's engineer for this pump storage project, which will form part of the West Kau Energy project, which is an integrated renewable and irrigation project, which includes energy production from pump storage hydropower, conventional hydropower, solar generation and battery energy storage. I would just like to add, if anyone from Blackfinch is watching, or AES, and you need an on-site recruiter, I am very happy to put my name into the hat to relocate to Hawaii. For some reason, I do not think the wife, Mrs. Ogunsola, would be objecting too much if I suddenly said we are moving to Hawaii because I need to do some recruitment, but that is a different subject altogether. Back to the news article. The pump storage portion of this project will pump water from the Lower Mana Reservoir to the Upper Pua'ape Reservoir, using energy production from the solar PV portion of the project. As I did say, it's a kind of combination of conventional pump storage and solar energy hydropower. During the peak evenings, nighttime and morning peak hours, water will be sent back to the lower reservoir via gravity penstock and a pua'opua. Through the Manor powerhouse, it's 20 megawatt Pelton turbines to generate renewable power to the grid. The process will cycle between daytime pumping and nighttime generation perpetually. So again, really interesting news with regard to this project in Hawaii, which is a combination of pump storage hydropower, conventional hydropower and solar energy. So again, congratulations to all those involved and Veatch. So that gives up my roundup of the hydropower news over the last week. So those are my hydropower connection that is aimed at you first on the list. Now moving on to a bit of solar news. And first of all, going to start with a bit of overall news across the market. And interestingly, it looks like the global solar photovoltaic installations will see over 20% growth in 2022, which will surpass the 200 gigawatts barrier for the first time. So, you know, a round of applause for everybody in the solar sector. This is coming at a total investment of $170 billion. This is according to reports. Just to share some further information with regards to this article, continued growth through 2022 would also mark the second year in a row to experience double-digit growth of global installations in a high-price environment, the report has highlighted. Again, in terms of regions, there's been huge expansion in the US and Asia region, which isn't kind of too surprising from looking at the articles that I've been sharing recently across the solar energy. Again, this further highlights the global expansion of renewable market and particularly the dominance of the solar market at the moment, particularly over the last 2 years. So solar energy is definitely leading the way. Further news from the solar energy sector, and this time coming by way of looking over here, we've got some news coming from let's have a look here, from the UK. And Blackfinch Energy, they have acquired a 25 megawatt solar site in Hampshire, southern England, to increase its portfolio. Bit more news from this article. The Freemade solar farm, which is located near Winchester, wonderful part of the UK, I must say, is under construction and is expected to start generating electricity as soon as July 2022, so less than 10 months to be precise. The site itself was acquired from Enviromina, which is constructing the project and will also provide long-term operational and maintenance services to the solar plant once in operation. The development and construction of the project, which has been funded by Close Brothers Leasing UK. At this particular moment, Blackfinch Energy's portfolio stands at 96.5 megawatts of installed capacity. This includes both operational, under construction and under development, across 51 individual installations and 18 project companies. At this moment, the portfolio is invested exclusively in ground mount solar, rooftop solar and onshore wind assets. So good news coming by way of the UK, and certainly on that path to meeting the optimistic objectives set by Boris Johnson. Some more news coming from the solar energy market, this time further afield in Spain, and the Finnish-owned Talari developer, they have acquired 100% ownership of the 50 megawatt Nebula solar farm in Spain. The ready-to-build project is located in the municipality of San Juan del Porto in Andalusia, approximately 70 kilometers west of Seville. Annual production of electricity will be approximately 107 gigawatt hours. Construction will start in December, and the plant is expected to be fully operational in the third quarter of 2022. Some good news there from Spain as well as the UK in the solar sector. Just going back to the article in Spain, The project itself was developed by Valfortec, a Spanish developer, in cooperation with Telari Energia. The project has a long-term financial power purchase agreement (PPA) with Centrica Energy Trading to manage the majority of the electricity being produced. Project financing will be provided by Banco Sabadell with a loan qualifying as green under the Loan Market Association Green Loan Principles. Investment director at Telari Energy recently commented, his name is Mr. Petri, commented, "We are very pleased with this investment. Spain has significant solar resources and ambitious plans to increase the proportion of solar generated power on the Spanish grid, while matching towards our company goals." So again, congratulations to all those involved on this particular project. A bit more solar news, just having a look here if anything worthwhile sharing. A bit of solar news coming by way of France and Neoen, which is a French developer. They have been awarded 130 megawatts of capacity in France's call for tenders for ground-based solar projects. The 130 megawatts awarded in the CRE 4.10 consists of 9 projects from 4 megawatts to 43 megawatts in size, and Neoen is the majority shareholder in each. 6 out of the 9 plants are to be built on rehabilitated land, such as former quarries, landfill sites, or former aerodrames. The 9 projects are mainly located in the southwest and east of France, with projects also in the north part. So again, interesting news coming by France and the solar market. The plants are scheduled to be commissioned in 2023, so just over 18 months. Guillaume Decan, who is the French development director for Neoen, said in the article, all 9 projects submitted won their tenders, which illustrates Neoen's leadership in France. The 130 megawatts allocation is the largest Neoen has been awarded to date in France, according to any French government solar energy tender, making a total of 500 megawatts over the course of the CRE. So again, that sums up the news across the solar sector. Last but not least, going to finish off with a bit of wind energy news. And interestingly, both the articles I'm going to discuss are looking at Poland, which seems to be creeping up as a leading player in the renewables space across Europe. I've noticed myself they keep propping up in terms of articles and projects being awarded. Myself, my day job being a recruiter and managing a team that covers the European renewable sector, the number of vacancies we have been receiving across Poland has increased quite a lot over the last couple of weeks. Myself in hand at the moment, I have 2 retained positions for project developers in Poland, so it kind of coincides with these recent news articles. The first one being from German developer VSB. They have started construction of its 42 megawatt onshore wind farm in Poland, named the Barano Ryszał. The project itself is located in Kępno, and is set to feature 11 Nordex turbines, which are scheduled to go online in 2023. The buildings permit for the project was approved at the end of 2019, and then the project was successful in the 2020 renewable energy auction. The wind farms will be capable of supplying electricity equivalent to the average consumption of around 36,000 households. So again, this is really interesting and further solidifies the Polish market as being the place to be at the moment. A bit more news again. As I said, there was 2 articles I wanted to discuss across Poland, and the second one being from the Israeli developer Nafar Energy. I do hope I've pronounced that correctly. They are setting up a joint venture with Electrum to initiate, develop and manage and maintain 1,250 megawatts of wind and solar projects in Poland. The two companies will co-manage the JV, including identifying opportunities for renewable energy projects, initiation and development, and of course acquisition of greenfield renewable projects. Nofar Europe, in terms of the JV, they are going to be holding 80% and Electrum's going to be holding 20%. For those who are kind of interested a bit more in the dynamics between the two companies. In an article, the Electrum Chief Executive, Mr. Miroslav Papalovsky, I hope I pronounced that correctly, said, the joint venture with Nofar Energy perfectly fits into the implementation of our long-term strategy based on IPP energy and information business formula and focused on co-creating an alternative energy system. I am really impressed by Nofar vision, initiative thinking and its extraordinary business success way. I am confident the partnership between both Nofar and Electrum will provide fruitful opportunities and results. So again, really good news coming by way of the wind sector and particularly Poland. Last but not least, just a bit more news on the wind sector, this time by Vietnam, who I've mentioned many times before. In terms of the Southeast Asia region, Vietnam is definitely high on the list of projects in construction, in development and to be commissioned. This time Blue Circle and its partner ACN, they've recently completed a 40 megawatt second phase of the Muni wind farm in the Binh Thuan province in South Vietnam, to be precise. The project itself will feature 8 5 megawatt turbines with rotor diameter of 158 meters for those interested in the technical elements. Most interestingly about this article, why I wanted to share it, is that the project itself has a total expansion potential of up to 170 megawatts. So considering at the moment it's the second phase which has been completed of 40 megawatts, there's capacity there to double if not triple or quadruple the output in terms of megawatts, which is really fantastic. Construction was completed after only 8 months, so on schedule, with most importantly 140 construction staff involved. So again, it shows the way that renewable energy is creating new jobs out there within the industries, whether that be home in the UK, Europe or in Asia. The project's estimated cost is around $70 million, which will be financed by the debt equity and has qualified for the wind feed-in tariff of 8.5 US cent per kilowatt hours. The project itself will be managed via Blue Circle's asset management service contract. So again, that's just to round up some of the news articles on the wind sector. So a bit of hydro for my hydro connections, some solar and some wind. That sums up this week in renewables, your bite-sized roundup of the renewable stories over the last 7 days. As I said at the beginning, don't forget to like, share and subscribe and all that stuff. Really does help with the visibility. Always welcome to any recommendations that you would like to see during this kind of show, any articles or any format changes, etc. Also, again, anyone who's listening or watching that wants to take part, more than happy for to have some guests on this show. I've got some scheduled up in December and January, so I'm looking to have some conversations with a few directors, a few energy developers, for them to discuss their businesses in a bit more detail, with a bit more of a kind of back and forth discussion of the latest renewable stories. Thank you again for watching and listening. I've been your host, Mr. Deji Ogunsola, the voice you can trust, and this has been This Week in Renewables, episode 22. Take care, God bless, goodbye.